ABSA. Overcoming all finance from ABSA. Going the extra mile to get you financed. On to the third and final lap of the Nissan Hluhluwe 400, and it was the two-time winners Nick and son Ryan Harper who were setting the pace at the front. Variawa and Rousseau, however, were pressurizing them all the way and were closing the gap. The total porter was more than happy to oblige, and the race was on. Third overall and firmly in control in the production car class, it was four-time champion Hannes Hluhluwe. The burly 51-year-old is like good wine. The older he gets, the better he gets. But Tollefson was desperately trying to close the gap between himself and the number one man in the Nissan team, but to no avail. The gap stayed at 3.5 minutes. Who won in Darling in 2006, has only had the Ford Ranger for 2 races, but seemed to find out how to make it go quickly very fast indeed. He was third, less than 4 minutes behind Hluhluwe and only 18 seconds behind the Norwegian. Third in the space frame vehicles, it was Clint Gibson and Mike Brown who were themselves doing a giant killing act. A fine performance and only 13 minutes down on the lead. The wraps-up bat of Nardis Alberts and Colin Hunter itself was performing well, except for a pesky oil light that would not go off, full of oil or not, so they ignored it and raced on. The Cries themselves had put away a few big scalps and on lap 3 clocked a blistering time. They were leading Class B by a massive 28 minutes. Duncan Foss next drove into our viewfinders, and were it not for that starter motor and stalling the car twice, they would have been within striking distance, if not leading. The whites were literally flying, while Gillingham and Van Vieren got things sideways, including the advertising. Schilling and Davies were next, 12th overall after a stunning drive from virtually the back of the field. Marsh and Groenewald's Jimco was tagging along second in class to the Plastotech Raceco and only 6 minutes down. With Besaidnout and De Bruin second in Class B. They were in turn 12 minutes ahead of the Besaidnouts Johan and Etienne in the second Adenko bat. In Class E, the Barkhazens, George and his better half Sharon were leading by almost 40 minutes and just had to keep the Toyota on the road to get the win. While Ramon Besaidnout and Stefan Locke in their Toyota gained valuable manufacturers' points for their team by leading the way home in Class D, they had a 10-minute time gap. For Mark Corbett and Rudy Balzar, this became an unexpected game drive. Quite some speed this fellow has. Harold and Tion Kun in their Land Rover probably had the drive of the day, from 44th on the starting grid to 8th in the production class. With the Duplessis pushing them all the way, just 2.5 minutes behind them. Martin and Fourie were next, second in Class E, but quite a long way back. While Van Tonde and Guapa had got Rent-A-Crowd to do some vocals for them on the way into 11th place in the production and third in Class E. The Niemands, Gerard and Zelda here taking the opportunity to pass by in Class B. And that corner had caught quite a few victims. Manfred Schroeder and co-Ward Huxtable are masters at saving their car and getting it to the line, and they again did it right in Hluhluwe. They were 6th in class. Gosler and Carolyn also did a fine job of getting their Kopenhagen Hotel racecoat to the finish and looked quite clean. And one for the single-seaters as Gary Campbell brought it home in 17th place in the specials. Gavin Gray and Mark Sarua and Nernison took the second to last finisher's spot. With Jack Peckham and Lucio Santoro piloting the Ford Racing Ranger to 4th in Class E after a solid last loop. But at